Okay, so chili pepper cookie is based on chili peppers, a type of spicy vegetable. She's like, look, her knife is literally a chili pepper. I don't know what y'all are smoking. It's literally a chili pepper. Okay, and she also seems to be based on a thief from fantasy. Okay, so you want me to get into a brief description of what a thief is in fantasy? I'll give it to you. A thief is a separate class from a rogue, but they have lower damage, but they have the ability to steal items from enemies. Sometimes this could tend to even intangible items such as experience points, but more commonly rare items that cannot be attained in any other way. Okay, she doesn't do that. I don't think she even gives you more coins in battle. I really don't think she does that. So, no, that's not what she's doing. But she's also based on a bandit. Close to a thief, a bandit is a rogue whose stealth skills are either downplayed or non existent. While they have all the standard rogue abilities, they tend to use them in less subtle ways. Instead of unlocking a door, they'll kick it down. Instead of stealthily picklocking their enemies, they'll simply walk up and grab things from them. Well, Chili Pepper Cookie does do that, but she might sometimes sneak around and take items from you. And you know something I wish? I really wish that in battle, once you win something, I really wish you get more coins from it. Like, come on. That would be way easier. Like, come on. That would make a lot of sense given her personality. Like, I mean, we already have Timekeeper Cookie and what else? And croissant cookie and like enhance the speed of certain stuff in the game. Like we already have that. Why can't we do that with chili pepper cookie, man? Come on. Chili pepper cookie's like a decades old at this point. It's like a decade old at this point. Why doesn't this character have that special ability? Come on. Justice for chili pepper cookie, y'all. Justice for chili pepper cookie. Okay, so snow sugar cookie is based on what is it? Snow. And he's based on sugar. It does have similar properties as snow, as it's white and as it's very easy to move around, and you can move it around. And honestly, you can make shapes in it. And I guess, and they do say that sugar does benefit when it's in somewhere cold. So, yeah. And Snow Sugar Cookie is also based on a summoner. Specifically, he can summon a creature to fight alongside him. And he reminds me of Nunu and Wylam from League of Legends. Yeah, not much to say there. Okay, so Vampire Cookie is based on a vampire. Obviously, he's a vampire. Secondly, he is based on wine. He drinks wine. His hair looks like wine being spilt on the floor, like if it's dripping. And wine is very similar to blood because, the blood of Christ, anyway, is represented by wine. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. And secondly, why vampire cookies and ambush is because vampires are ambush predators. It makes a lot of sense to me. So, that's it. Lily cookie here is based on a tiger lily, which is actually a real plant. The tiger lily is a hardy perennial hibiscus plant native to Eastern Asia. It is celebrated for its striking orange, dark spotted, reflected backward curving petals. It is a resilient garden favorite that thrives in full sun apart shady, well drained, humus rich soil. Oh, and she has that flower in her hair right there. So she is also based on that. Oh, and why she's a range. It's because she's a Beastmaster Ranger. She does shoot stuff. She does shoot a spear, but she also gets back on a on back of a tiger, and the tiger fights at close range for her, while she fights at a ranged. Makes sense. She's a Beastmaster Ranger, a trope. So, yeah, makes sense. Okay, so Werewolf Cookie is based on a werewolf. And a werewolf is a creature in fantasy that looks like a human already, but commonly with wolf ears and a wolf tail. But once at a full moon at night, they can turn into wolf-like creature that can stand on two legs. We see this. We have the zoologist in Terraria. We have the werewolves from Terraria. Midnight Lycanroc from Pokemon, who wasn't a human but does have a heavy association with the moon, hence the Midnight name. And we're Garurumon from Digimon, fellow werewolves. Maybe Loop Moon from Palworld counts as one, but I don't know. I mean, okay. And also, why Werewolf Cookie is a charge is because he's charging into the enemy like a wolf does. I mean, come on, we know, come on, pretty obvious stuff. And why his element is steel is because werewolves' claws and teeth are hard as steel. They can cut through metal, I think? I really don't know, honestly. And the monster, and also, Werewolf Cookie's whole main thing, his ingredient might be pepper, which would make sense. The pepper is kind of like wolf fur. I mean, will make you sneeze. I mean, seriously. So, and what kind of fantasy trope is Werewolf Cookie inspired from? Well, the Monster Knight. Okay, so Monster Knights combine the argument and power of a monster and a beast and the training and weaponry of a knight. They might also be, well, Werewolf Cookie doesn't have the training of a knight, but he does act like a beast mouse, like a monster knight. You know, he does charge at close range. He does fight at close range, obviously, and he does charge at the enemy. Makes sense, and he's a fighter, and he does have a decent amount of HP, so yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Anyways, they may also be able to tap on their basic monster instincts to gain more power and ferocity, often at cost of endangering you or your allies, and also endangering their sanity, which is why Werewolf Cookie hates going in his alternate form. That's why he doesn't want to hurt people. So, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, so mint choco cookie is based on mint chocolate, a type of flavored chocolate that combines the minty flavor of mint with the chocolate flavor of chocolate. Oftentimes, they're inside the chocolate. Usually dark chocolate, which is why mint choco cookie's whole dough color is a dark brown, kind of like the dark chocolate. And also, he is a support. Why is he a support? And he's a heal, but that can also heal people. Why is that? Well, this might be a far-fetched, but guys, music can heal the soul, and playing music can heal your soul as well. I mean, it does make people feel relaxed and all that other stuff. It is a pretty good way of it. It's a pretty good system, I'll say that. I mean, it's a pretty good explanation. And him being a wind elemental might be similar how music does kind of feel like the wind. Can feel like the wind. One hand, it's very calm and peaceful, and then the other second, it can get pretty violent. It can change it, and you can change the music's mood depending on which mood it wants to represent. Kind of like the wind, it changes with the weather and stuff. It can be very peaceful one moment, and then at another moment, it can be very hectic and violent. Anyways, pretty interesting stuff. And also a violin music, and also he's based on a violinist, if that wasn't obvious. And yeah, and I think the other thing he might be based on is the bard. Is based on a bard of Final Fantasy. Another name for Minstrel, Maestro, or Troubadour, the Bard is a class that taps into magic through art, usually by music. The Bard's magic tends to focus around staff effects, buffing their enemies while weakening or disabling their enemies, buffing their allies while weakening or disabling their enemies, with some healing magic and occasionally damage spells. Unfortunately, due to stats effect magics ending up in the useful spell category in some games, bards have gained a reputation as one of the less useful classes through when stats effects are useful. The spells of this bards can be different between a clean victory, a pyrrhic victory, or worse, a total party kill. Oh, and they do get a lot of versatility though, being more adept with combat and other magic classes, though nowhere near the level of a fighter, and or having useful skills outside combat, though not to the degree the rogues. One area bards still have above rogues, along with other is social skills, having the most affinity with diplomats of NPCs, and this makes sense. Mint Choco Cookie does increase the attack speed of certain of your allies in combat. Hence is why he's recommended to take on this licorice monster creature right here. So, in the guild battle. And secondly, he is very, very social. He is a violinist, and everybody loves his music. Everybody does. And he is useful, so yeah, you'll get a lot of versatility out of this guy. Next. Okay, so Herb Cookie is based on herbs. He is based on herb spices, herb plants, all that stuff. Basic. He's also a gardener, and he's a healer because he's healing plants, which could also, but he's based on a specific type of healer. You want to know what that is? He is based on a botanist. A botanist is something that names a chlomancer, a flormancer, a floralist, a gardener, or a keeper of the group. A botanical version of the druid who specializes in magic that conjures plants for healing and protection, and usually with a side of poison damage and summonable plant creatures. Herb Cookie doesn't doing that, but he just heals everybody. He heals the party. There's not really much to say about him. Yeah, not really much to say. Dark Choco Cookie is based on dark chocolate. Pretty obvious. His name is based on dark chocolate. Also, another thing he is inspired by is a dark warrior or a dark knight in RPGs. These types of characters, you these types of characters are able to put debuffs on the enemies once they attack. They put negative effects on them, and also Dark Choco Cookie does the same thing, especially with his magic candy. Another thing that he does is, you guessed, thing that he might be based on is a fallen hero. Fallen hero. They used to be heroes, but something happened that made them fall or something like that. Yeah, Dark Choco is that, but I guess he's like more of a, I don't know, somewhat neutral version of it. I don't know. And his dark chocolate theming with milk cookies theming is a good theming towards milk cookies theming. Milk cookie is, yeah, but we'll talk about that in milk cookie segment. So, anyways, that's it. Dark chocolate cookie. Okay, so sparkling cookie is based on sparkling juice. He's inspired by sparkling juice, and that is what he is. And the reason why he's a healer is because he's healing people with the juice. Yeah, I mean, I guess drinking something would heal you, but I don't know about sparkling juice. So it says, throw a refreshing healing cocktails at 2 hours with the lowest HP. The cocktail's divine aroma raises the whole squad's morale, increasing their critical strike chance. So he's basically a gambler, a gambling healer version. He lowers the people with the lowest HP, and he gives them a higher crit ratio. I'm not sure. That stuff, I'm not sure. And he's also based on a bartender. I mean, come on. Is it really interesting? And the light element is because is I guess he is the light of a party. No. I guess the cocktail just does look like it's glowing. I mean, it is glowing yellow and all that stuff, kind of like neon lights or something. Not really sure. Not much to say about this one. Pomegranate Cookie takes inspiration from a Korean shamanism, museum, and the Madang Shaman Priestess. Yeah. She draws it, and she's also based on pomegranate and underworld symbolism, incorporating elements from the High Priestess tarot card and Greek mythology. The mundane archetype. Her practices such as spirit calling bells and a mystical mirror are traditional tools of mukbang in Korean. Pomegranates are often called the fruit of the otherworld, linking to her themes of life, death, and dark sorcery. Hence why she wields the chaos element and works her dark enchantress cookie. And I think pomegranates can be poisonous. I don't know. I think they are a bit poisonous. I'm not sure. And also, her robes and hair buns are visually representation of pomegranate seeds, and her headdress mimics the crown like top of the fruit itself. Oh, and secondly, why she's a support? Well, it's pretty simple actually. She is literally buffing her allies. That's basically what she's doing. And also, even dark spells can be The cookie's Crimson Magic applies a buff, restoring some HP over time, while squad increases their attack. So she's pretty useful. And the Magic Candy says restores team's HP, strengthening ally cookies with pomegranate gem magic. Strengthening targets gain increased attack and crit percent, but also receive debuffs that reduce defense and increase damage taken. If the target is Dark Enchantress cookie, pomegranate gem magic instead increases attack and crit percent only without applying debuffs. Additionally, hurls pomegranate trailsmans at enemies, dealing damage and reducing attack and healing. It would make a lot of sense for her, and she does do that. And what type of RPG thing is she based? Type of RPG thing she's based? Well, she is based Bard. So let's just get into it. So she's some kind of healer, a dark healer or something, like a shaman, a cleric linked to, a cleric linked to spirits rather than gods, commonly inspired by the witch doctor. Though other inspirations such as Japanese onomiodo are not unheard of. They are not only drawn their magical abilities from spirits, but are commonly able to summon spirits to assist them. Okay, she doesn't do that, but she might be the cultist, the evil counterpart of the cleric. The cultists worship the local gods of evil, or eldritch abomination, rather than more benevolent deities. As a result, the powers they gain from their fates are typically the shadowy variety, more given to offense, but in terms of offensive buffs and debilitating curses and outright offensive attacks. Although they usually had some healing in their kit, if less than is usually granted on the priest for a more wholesome god. And also, she might be based on an oracle, a cleric that focuses on the divination and prophecy aspects of the, well, not really, but a darker version of it. So, yeah, makes a lot of sense. Okay, so purple yam cookies' main ingredient is yam. It's a rooted vegetable. And one thing, yams are starchy, edible tubers from the Dioscura genus, native to America, Asia, and the Americans. They are a dietary staple, providing rich sources of potassium, vitamin C, and dietary fiber. Often confused with sweet potatoes, true yams have rough, scaly skin and a variety of flesh colors. So, let's see. And purple yams are actually a real thing. Yeah, they are actually a real thing, believe it or not. Purple yam, Dioscura alata, commonly known as a oob, is a tuber native to the Philippines. Famous for its vibrant purple flesh, it has a mildly sweet, nutty, and vanilla-like flavor. It is widely used in desserts like halaya, jam, ice cream, and pastries. Makes sense. But purple yam himself ain't that sweet. Okay? He is very violent. Alright? Just be very wary of that. And he's a charge. Why? Well, let's get into it. His RPG class is a brute, titan, or vanguard, and landscape. Basically, the basic warrior. A more offensively oriented general upgrade of the basic fire, the warrior trades the knight's emphasis on defense and support for brute offensive power, favoring large two-handed weapons that can smash straight through entire swaths of enemies and heavy armor that offsets their lack of a shield, as well as the immense strength it requires to use both. Okay. Warriors range from unskilled but strong brutes to strong and skilled veterans, with the latter in particular emphasizing the class slow, methodical, but devastating attacks. Oh yeah, he just uses one giant weapon, and he does look crazy, and he's crazy, and Purple Yam is crazy. Anyways, yeah, and he's a grass elemental because he's a vegetable. He is that's why. Not really much to say about these epic cookies so far, but anyways, Purple Yam cookie's cool. I like him. Milk Cookie is based on, well, milk and a knight. Okay, and a knight. Yeah, he's based on a knight. What else? He has the shield and everything. Okay, so Poison Mushroom Cookie is based on poison mushrooms. And the reason he's a bomber is because poisonous bombs. And also, they also might be based on a mushroom cloud. A mushroom cloud is a distinctive mushroom-shaped column of smoke, debris, and concentrated water vapor caused by a large-scale explosion, often by nukes and other stuff like that. While most famous for being tied to nuclear detonations, any mass release of heat, such as large convention bombing or volcano eruptions, can create one. Let's see, Poison Mushroom Cookie here is releasing a poisonous, noxious one. How interesting. Even his skill icon, even their skill icon looks like this, but with the of a skull. Oh, and the reason why he reduces healing is that poisonous mushrooms can kill if not treated properly. Yeah, I think they can act. Yeah, can. Licorice Cookie is based on the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper is a popular personification of death in Western culture in the form of a hooded skeletal figure wearing a black robe and carrying a scythe. So, yeah, he's also. Look, he even takes inspiration from it. Look, he has the skulls and everything. And even his scythe is like made with bones. And heck, his pale skin kinda makes him look like a skeleton. I mean, come on. And also, and he's also based on a necromancer. A necromancer is a partition magic or sorcerer who can communicate with the conjurers or controls the dead. The primary historical goal of a necromancer was to divine the future of gain hidden knowledge with deceased spirits. In modern day fantasy and popular culture, the term often refers to raised skeletal armies or reanimated corpses. I don't know if Licorice's little candy servants are are undead or anything, but I don't know. They probably might be. They kind of look very skeletal. I don't know. And Licorice Curse is kind of seems like something a necromancer would do. Think about it. Targets upon the enemy with the highest HP. The cursed enemy suffers from a defense and healing reducing debuff, becomes poisoned. So that can happen. A ghost powers can weaken somebody. It is possible. It really is possible that that can happen. Oh, and another with his magic candy. The magic candy can do that. Anyways, yeah, that's it. And he also wields the dark element, the poisonous element, and the chaos element. The reason they will is obvious. The element of darkness is represented with the Grim Reaper and with necromancers anywhere. Anything that's undead related will have a darkness element or a ghost element, depending on what if they have the element. But Cookie Run Kingdom doesn't have the element, so no. Poison because, well, licorice in the Cookie Run universe is poisonous. And two, the Chaos element because he's one of Dark Enchantress Cookie's little servants. Yes, he is Dark Enchantress Cookie's servant. Yes, that is why he has the Chaos element. Madeleine Cookie is based on madeleines. Madeleines are delicate French butter cakes often mistaken for cookies due to their size. Famous for their signature scallop shell shape and plump hump, they offer crisp edges and a light, airy melt-in-your-mouth center. They are best served fresh, dusted with powdered sugar or dipped in chocolate. And also, their origins and characteristics just end up being hailing from the Lorraine region of the northeast France. Traditional recipes typically feature a small genoise sponge batter. They are known for their subtle citrus or vanilla flavoring, are meant to be enjoyed alongside a warm cup of tea or coffee, which is Madeleine Cookie's relationship with Espresso Cookie in a nutshell. Pretty good stuff. And Madeleine Cookie is based on a paladin from fantasy. Other names: Holy Knight, Crusader, or Templar, Inquisitioner, Guardian, some games, and Royal Guard. The Paladin is a fighter with the power of light and healing magic, as well as defensive buffs for their allies. Most Paladins get their powers from their devotion to gods, but Paladins do not necessarily follow or worship deities to gain power. Some Paladins got their powers through the sacred oaths and virtues. Their dedication to the faith gives them various prayers, healing abilities, and holy-based spells to protect themselves and others. Naturally, they are a type of magic knight. They are also quite good at laying the smite dead demons and other traditional evil supernatural creatures. But they may have pretty neat. And it gives off Madeleine Cookie's heroic nature, and hence why he does have some association with Saint Pastry Order. Yeah. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, pretty neat. And anyways, let's read his skill. Calls upon the celestial light that allows performing range area attacks instead of regular attacks. While under celestial light, Madeleine Cookie receives a buff, making him immune to debuffs. But it doesn't heal him or anything. Okay, they does get HP shield, and he does get like healing with his magic candy. So that is correct. So yeah, that is correct. So yeah, since he does get some healing properties when he gets his magic candy, but not normally. It makes sense. Anyways, next on. Okay, so espresso cookie is based on an espresso. Espressos are a type of caffeine beverage, and one thing is what they're made of is a concentrated coffee beverage brewed by forcing hot water under high pressure, typically 9 bars, to finely ground coffee beans. Originating in Italy, it takes about 25 to 30 seconds to extract and yields a thick, full-bodied shot topped with a velvety golden brown foam called crema. Yeah. So, and also the grind. Coffee beans are ground to extremely fine powder-like consistency to provide a resistance to the pressurized water. So, this makes sense as his grinding skill. He's because coffee beans get grinded, and also espresso cookie is based on a wizard, or Avancician mage from a fantasy trope, among many others. These casters rely on rule of magic and study to learn and wield magic, usually taking years, leaving their bodies squishy and very vulnerable to attacks. Most of the time, dusty tomes and candlelit towers are what you should associate with these guys. If there's a distinction between this and the inherent gift mage, it will be that these have some kind of limitation, like needing to prepare what spells they use ahead of time for more versatility if prepared. Or an inherent gift mage or a sorcerer. This magic user was born with abilities they don't need to study. It could use more readily than other mages. This is something explained as being descended from a magical creature, but we know Express is not magic. Well, he is a magical creature, a magical cookie that was baked to be magical, but that's sometimes being a part of a mage species. I don't think that's, I don't know, not really that. Hmm. And also, he's ground type because, for one simple reason, because the coffee beans are very similar to dirt, and even when they're grinded up, they kind of feel like dirt. And I guess coffee beans and coffee mix is the ground that is the dirt of the Cookie Run universe, probably, which might be true. I mean, you'd never know. So yeah, him being an earth elemental makes a lot of sense. Okay, so rye cookie is based on a rye grain. Rye grain is a hardy cereal grass related to wheat and barley. Prized for its resilience in cold climates, it is widely used in baking, distilling, and as a winter cover crop. And oh and it's also really used in culinary and baking. Uses bread, such as rye bread, used to make a dense, dark breads like pumpernickel and crisp breads. Because its gluten structure is different from wheat, it requires a starter or a sourdough method to rise properly, and they can be used for grain cooking. And she seems to be inspired by a cowwoman, a sheriff. Yeah, from the wild, wild west, I'll say that. And she's also in her rivalry with. Oh yeah, and her rivalry with Chili Pepper Cookie makes sense. I mean, you have a sheriff trying to catch this bandit. Yeah, makes sense. It's pretty interesting. And also, Rye Cookie is a fire elemental. She shoots bullets, fire bullets. And yeah, it also helps prominent if so yeah, that makes sense. So she shoots these fire guns that I guess they do explosion damage, but not really sure. Anyways, that's it for Rye Cookie. Alright, so Camille Cookie is based on what her name is, Camille. The Camille of Korean legends. The Camille is a deceptive fox spirit which shapeshifts into a beautiful human woman in order to seduce unaware men into a vulnerable position. It takes advantage of their lower guard to attack them and devour their heart or life. Camille Cookie's line, "What a yummy little jelly, bear jelly," references her ability in Cookie Run Oven Break, in which she charms bear jellies and eats them immediately afterwards. Okay, so I guess the bear jellies were probably being seduced. Isn't that like, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? Cause she, well, no, cause she's an Okay, I don't know. Shown his belly and then eats some meat. This in itself references the Camille's tendencies of enticement, leading to violent consumption. Camille Cookie's 990-day journey to gain her transformation powers is a reference to Mio, who abstained after eating human flesh for 1,000 days, becomes a human. Alright, so, unlike a kitsune or holy Jing, who can be anywhere from good to evil or somewhat neutral, the Camille is almost always malignant, leading in nature, is always cruel and evil. In general, Camille Cookie is very heavily based on Korean culture and appears quite often in game content than nationality. Yeah, so there might be some things she might do. She might kill you. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Or she might kill you next. And the wind elemental thing might be based on the fox spirit might be like the wind. I'm not really sure. And it might feel like the wind. And her being a charge is how the fox, in her fox form, she charges at the enemy. Not really much to say about this one, guys. Pretty interesting, though, regardless. Latte cookie is based on a latte. A latte is a popular coffee beverage of Italian origin consisting of a short shot of espresso combined with steamed milk and a thin layer of milk foam. It is a milk to espresso ratio, creates a creamy mild coffee flavor. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And she's also based on a witch. No, a very attractive witch. Yeah, I'm not just saying that. Yeah, she's based on a witch, a very attractive witch. The and also she's got the hat, the dress, and everything. And she's based on a magic teacher. Pretty interesting stuff. And also why she's a ground. As I said with the espresso cookie earlier, ground coffee beans have a lot dirt elements. They're brown and they kind of feel like dirt in some cases. And also dirt might also be and also coffee beans, grounded up coffee beans might be the dirt of the Cookie Run universe, which might make sense. Which would make sense. And honestly, yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Okay, so cream puff cookie is based on a cream puff. A cream puff is a type of pastry. A classic French dessert made from baked chow pastry. The hollow puffs are filled with a sweet, moist center and typically garnished with chocolate sauce, caramel, or powdered sugar. Hey, cream puff cookie has powdered sugar on her hat. And her hair does kind of look like sugar, so like, hey, what can you say? Pretty good design. But let's get into reason why cream puff cookie is a support and not a magic, even though she is using magic. One of the things that Cream Puff Cookie is based on is she's not a scholar. She's just learning how to use. She just graduated from using magic. And so, yeah. She's also based on a scholar. Other names are Sage, Librarian, Lore Master, Archivist, Veteran, Wizard. None of these fit Cream Puff. Scholars are a support class with encyclopedic knowledge which allows them to study enemies and figure out their weaknesses. Which I don't think Cream Puff Cookie does, but okay, anyways. Let's just get into the other things. She also might be based on. She might be based on a sage, or something adjacent to that. A sage, a red mage, or a mystic theurge. The sage is a spellcaster that is capable of accessing the spell list of both mages and clerics, usually meaning being able to both blast enemies and heal allies. Naturally, this level of versatility puts the Sage at risk of being an overpowered class. Some games, especially, make them recently rectify this by making a Sage a Priestess class. Hence why Cream Puff Cookie is in the Guild gacha instead of in the normal gacha like the rest of the cookies are, making the leg up they have over the other casters less of an issue. And oh, they have limitations. Cream Puff Cookie's limitation might be because she doesn't know how to use magic fully yet, and it can go out of control. So, lose control, making the okay. In the meta, she is better than Latte Cookie and Espresso Cookie in the world, and better than most magic cookies. So yeah, except for the high rarity ones, obviously. So neat. So that does keep. But this is all with her magic candy, not her normally. So yeah, anyways, let's just go into that. Danger. Almond cookie is based on an almond. Almonds are highly nutritious edible seeds native to Middle East and South Asia, widely consumed raw, roasted as milk, butter, and flour, and they often come in trail mix. An almond cookie's whole hair and his tie and his pants are striped like an almond, so that would make a lot of sense. And also, another thing, his skill also has something to do. Uses magical handcuffs to apprehend the enemy with the lowest max HP, which are often magic cookies, since they have the lowest HP of any cookie, and the magic casters do have the lowest HP of any RPG class out there. So yeah, that would make sense. Hence the whole squishy wizard term trope in popular media. And also, Almond Cookie is based on a cop, a detective. He has the whole getup. He has the pants. He has the outfit. He even has the coat that off scene. And cops are shown to eat nuts in some popular media. Neat. In some media. So that does make a lot of sense for a nut-based character to be based on nut-based character to be based on a cop. I mean, if I wonder what a donut cookie would look like. Well, we already have Space Donut, but he's not a cop. He's an alien. Anyways, let's just. Anyways, oh, and why is Almond Cookie an Earth elemental? You might be asking. I don't know. I really have no idea. Maybe because almonds are similar to Earth. I mean, they are hardy shell. I mean, I get. Oh, is it because he's brown? Is it because he's brown, Dead Sisters? Are y'all really trying to do that? Hmm. And he has Earth's protections and debuff resist. I mean, I guess he does combo well with Golden Cheese Cookie. I'm not really sure. Anything other than that, I'm not really sure why he's an Earth Elemental. I guess because he has ground? I guess he stays grounded in reality? I'm not sure. Maybe it's brown. I'm not sure. They might have dirt on. I'm not really sure. Anyways, next cookie. Black Raisin Cookie is based on a black raisin. A black raisin is a naturally sun-dried grape that boasts deep caramel-like sweetness and chewy texture. They are widely used as a nutrient-dense snack, a salad topper, or a sweet addition of baked goods, grains, bowls, and trail mixes. Yeah, and she's also based off of the apocalyptic survivor, as she is a protector of the village. And also, she dressed known for like the tattered cloak, the croak, the bird companion, and resilient nature. And Black Raisin does rhyme with Raven. It does sound like Raven. So, yeah. And also, she's also a pragmatic. Oh, and she lives on the barren, war-torn frontier near the Vanilla Kingdom, where she scavenges for food and fends off enemies. So, pretty interesting stuff. Not much to say about her. And a Raven does look like a raisin itself. So, yeah. Oh, and why she's a darkness element? Come on, look at her. She is an ambush predator. She's an ambusher, and she uses that raven to attack. It's pretty simple stuff. I don't know what else is there to say. Okay, so Strawberry Crepe Cookie is based on Strawberry Crepe, a delicate French-style treat combining thin pancakes with sweet filling. They can be effortlessly whipped up at home using assembled batter or elevated with rich additions like cream cheese, Nutella, and or fresh cured fruit. Makes a lot of sense. And look, they got the whole thin pancake thing. The thing on their head, you have the strawberry hair, everything strawberry on top of their hair. Makes sense. And then the pancake kind of looks like strawberry cream. Is yeah, interesting. And also the waffle bots. They kind of look like pancakes, even though they're clearly explicitly called waffle bots. They look like pancakes though. What is his RPG thing based on? What is he based on? Well, as it turns out, he's based on a more rare one: an engineer, a tinkerer, an artifact, a mechanist, a gadgeteer, or maybe not a blacksmith. This is a character class that relies on technology, often of the steampunk or magic tech variety, to to achieve range controlling effects similar to a wizard. They mostly have guns and bombs as primary and employs stationary and or mobile machines on the battlefield. May be seen as too sci-fi. But the Strawberry Crop robots, they do shoot stuff and it's magic candies and their magic candy skill. Am I wrong? Or is that weird? Okay, the merch. But he might also be kind of a cyborg, a class that takes energy of machine users up to the cyborg is basically an unskilled but strong engineer that trades in the engineer's MacGyvering ability for straightforward stat boosting augmentation and a smaller suit of mechanical doodads that can be cast with points in a pinch, typically rare, even in games willing to play around with the magic tech. So he might also be a mech, might also be the Steam Knight or the pilot. The natural conclusion of the above, an engineer, a character that rides around a mini mecha, or in the back, clockwork creature, also typically on the steampunk or tech variety. So basically, like that one Yordle from League of Legends, I don't know who I'm talking about, and also the Koopalings and Bowser Jr. from Smash. That's what they use. Well, Bowser Jr. mainly uses them, but the Koopalings use them too. Rather than the typical engineer, they tend to be tougher and slower, with powerful physical attacks, large, heavy firearms, as well as the usual gadgetry, can be seen as to the paladin or the spell sword in that regard. Often possesses a universal driver's license and the ability to turn their ride into an ace custom over time. Pretty simple stuff, and the waffle bots are the mechs. Yeah, he's using it, and he swings and also Strawberry Crab Cookie uses these giant waffle bot arms to destroy enemies, and especially crowds of them. So yeah, makes a lot of sense. Cookie is based on, well, a fig. Is a culturally and historically significant deciduous tree or shrub belonging to the mulberry family, Moraceae, native to the Mediterranean and western southern Asia. It is prized for its sweet edible fruit. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing because they went all out with this. Like, her hair is, her hat or whatever it is, it looks like the frig. Like, okay, pretty interesting and very sweet. I mean, listen. And also, another thing she's based on, it's pretty obvious, a servitor, a centaur creature, with the upper body being a cookie, and their lower half being that of a deer. Fig Cookie's signature jelly horn appears to be a blowing horn, which was used in Scotland by Scandinavian Vikings. Additionally, Fig Cookie speaks in a Scottish dialect and has improper contractions in the written dialogue. Forced and careful, though these quirks are notably absent from languages other than English. And what is her RPG class? She is a bard. And one of the things that bards do is occasionally damage spells. She does do damage, and she does lower the attack of the enemies, which would make sense. Says with magic and yeah, bards have gained a reputation of the less useful. How Fig Cookie is the less useful cookie in the game, which is sad. I don't know. It's really stupid. You know, I don't understand why they made her so useless. I know she's not like really into combat and stuff like that. I'd make her more useful, please. Give her a magic candy that makes her useful, please. I'm begging. Is based on a pastry. It's a type of pastry, we all know what it is, but I'll give a brief explanation to some who don't know what it is. A pastry is a baked food made of dough that is rolled thin and typically contains flour, water, and a high fat content. The high to fat ratio creates a flaky, crumbly, or layered texture used as a base for both sweet and savory dishes. We've been talking a lot about pastries throughout this whole series, but I guess we might as well have one that is actually based on a pastry named after one. Oh, and Pastry Cookie's whole thing is that she's based on, well, a nun. She's based on a nun with a crossbow. And nuns are very serious. They're not unable to feel emotions, but they're in their faith, but they do show joy and other stuff. And yeah, pretty religious stuff. And her being corrupted is based on how some religions can be corrupting in nature. Some people take something innocent and then corrupt it. And also, her being arranged is because, well, one, she's wielding a holy crossbow, which doesn't have the light element. Why does she have the light element? Okay, I don't know why she doesn't have it. I know why she has the wind elemental. Has the wind element. It's because the crossbows fire like the speed of wind. They're very fast. They could hit as many targets, and it's an AoE attack. Makes a lot of sense. But why is she? I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on. And I guess they really need a wind type tagger because she does. Whenever she hits someone with her magic candy skill, she will make that enemy weak to wind magic. I guess they needed a wind magic tagger, which interesting. And also, her hat does kind of look like the top of a pastry, while the purple on the hat kind of looks like, you guessed it, looks like the inside of the jelly. And also, I was gonna say she was based on a battle nun, but there's a game called brutal legend that has a creature or a character in it that's called a Battle Nun. Yeah, pretty terrifying, right? I mean, some people might think this is attractive, but I don't know about me. Anyways, that's it. She's pretty interesting. But let's get on to my favorite, Red Velvet. Okay, so Red Velvet Cookie is obviously based on what else do you think? Red Velvet. Basically, Red Velvet flavored stuff. Yes, the flavor. Red Velvet is not just chocolate cake with red dye. It features a distinctive flavor profile combined with a mild cocoa base, a touch of vanilla, and a slight tang of buttermilk and white vinegar. This unique taste is almost paired with rich sweet cream and cheese frosting. Hence is why his pants kind of look like, vanilla. It makes a lot of sense. And also, the red velvet cookies actually do exist. They're red and white, just like Red Velvet Cookie himself. And also, Red Velvet Cookie is based on a demon-human hybrid. Yes, half demon and half human hybrid. They're mainly humans with some demonic elements. In this case, Red Velvet's hand and his eye look like monster hands and eyes. And also, Red Velvet's Cookies working for the cake team, working for Dark Enchantress Cookies cake team, might is also based on how demons, it's on demons. He's working for the demons. Yeah. But he's not really evil per se. Yes, he does have a dark color palette and he is on the bad guy, but for different reasons. He wants all creatures to have peace. He's not here to ruin anything. He just wants the cake hounds to live in peace and all the monsters. Just to live in peace without having to worry about anybody killing them. Makes sense. And he wants to rebel against the people that want to take it over. I like Red Velvet Cookie. He's cool. And he kind of looks like a dog. And so he kind of looks like a werehound, I guess. I don't know. He kind of gives me that vibe. Doggy vibe. I don't know. Reminds me of Midnight Lycanroc. Anyways, why does he hold the darkness element, you may be asking? Well, for a very good reason. I'll tell you why. Because he's using darkness to attack people. He's on the Cookie of Darkness. Well, yeah, mainly that is the main reason. Not really much else there. Oh, and speaking of that, this and as he grabs the rearmost enemy, brings them in the front of the squad, dealing great damage and stunning them for a short time. Oh, I mean, interesting. And also, his giant. What is he based on? He doesn't do any negative effects like a Dark Warrior does. So he's definitely not based on that. He could be based on a Monster Knight. He's related to a monster battler. Related to Dragon and Barbarians, as well as the Beast, Monster Knights combine the augmented power of a monster and a beast and training and weaponry of a knight. He does have the training, so just so you know. They might also be able to tap to their basic monstrous instincts to gain more power and ferocity, often at a cost, either endangering allies. As we said before, he is a monstrous war general. Wars of animals and monsters to kill you. Yeah, well, to kill anyone that tries to hurt them, that is. Anyways, next, I love Red Velvet Cookie. A mango cookie is based on a mango. A mango is a juicy edible stone fruit native to South Asia, produced by the tropical tree Mangifera insita. And yeah, makes a lot of sense. And Mango Cookie is based on a boat tour guide. That is why he's a water elemental, because he's using water to attack the enemy. And this leads me into what type of RPG class is he based on? Well, an elementalist, a specialized mage who can only use elemental powers in some way. In this case, Mango Cookie is using water, or mango water, is his own water, his mango juice in this case. They use all the elements or may specialize in one or two. Often they are the key of winning elemental rock, paper, scissors in their setting. May sometimes come with a pact with, and usually summon elemental embodiment. So he does summon waves in his skill. So, yeah, he's a mango water elementist tour guide on a boat. Okay, so Lilac Cookie is based on a lilac. A lilac is a popular spring blooming woody shrubs in the olive family known for their heavily fragrant cluster flowers. It's, yep, a bush. And the lilac flower is purple, just like Lilac Cookie himself. And also, Lilac Cookie takes lot heavy inspiration from South Asian and Middle Eastern aesthetics. He features elements like a bindi-like forehead mark and wields chakrams, weapons originating from India. His attire also resembles traditional Middle Eastern and South Asian dance costumes. Yes, and you want to know something else? He's based on an assassin. No, I'm not joking. That's also his RPG class, what he's based on. Okay, you want me to get into a brief analysis of the RPG class? I'll do it. A more offensive rogue who sacrifices technical expertise for better stealth and killing abilities. Often have a variety of weakening and poison abilities are able to cripple a foe to leave him open for allies or let them die from damage over time. Lilac Cookie doesn't do that. His skill is that he throws his, well, he gains increased regular attack damage proportional to their attack speed boost rate. Yeah, for his allies. He doesn't weaken the enemy, he just boosts their attack to their attack speed. Yeah, not really much to say there. And does he. Okay, why was he not a. I guess that's why he's not an ambush instead of a support. Yeah, and he's a grass elemental because, come on, he is based on flowers. Come on, it's pretty obvious. Squidding Cookie is based on squidding. And yeah, and a squid. Well, in appearance. She acts more like an octopus in some cases. Yeah, she has the 8 arms, and then she kind of runs away from danger a lot. And she was likely given this name because squid ink is actually used in a lot of dishes. You think I'm joking? Yes, they actually use it. It is an ingredient in numerous dishes. And Squid and Cookie is also based on the myth of the giant squid and the giant octopus. Yes, that is what she looks like in her skill when she's using her skill. And also, why is she a magic? And you might be wondering, why is she a magic? Well, she's a magical giant squid. Yeah, there's not really much to say. Magical giant squid. And her April Fool's form does look like something from H.P. Lovecraft. I mean, come on, it does look like Cthulhu. So, yeah, I like Squid Cookie very here. Is based on sorbet, a refreshing dairy-free frozen dessert made from a simple blend of fruit juice, fruit puree, and sugar and water. Unlike traditional ice cream, it contains no milk or cream, making it perfect vegan, fat-free treat. And it seems like Sorbet Shark is based on it. I guess name that the one, but I guess the top of their head kinda looks like Sorbet if you really want to go in that direction. But anyways, let's see what his character inspiration is based on. Well, just like Seafarer Cookie, Sorbet Shark is on as is based on the inspiration of the Little Mermaid, especially the 1989 Disney edition, directly paralleling the original story. Mermaid's character Ariel, who sacrificed her ability to speak, be able to walk on land. This is a reference to the tropical soda island cutscenes when Sorbet Shark Cookie sings a part of Your World from the Disney film. They were also present alongside Ariel Cookie, who is a guest cookie from the Disney crossover back in 2022, herself during the Disney crossover teasers. The addition of Black Pearl Cookie to Kingdom further cements that Disney's The Little Mermaid inspiration during the Black Pearl Island story. Black Pearl Cookie reveals that it was she allowed Sorbet Shark Cookie to become a cookie. While it's not known if Black Pearl also took away Sorbet Shark's voice over here, her being an analog to Ursula might also be similar appearance to evoke the 1989 film. And Sorbet Shark Cookie is an ambush type. What is an ambush type? Because sharks ambush predators. Well, no, not exactly. Well, yeah, that, but he's also based on a specific RPG class, the Pirate. Other names: Corsair, Privateer, Swashbuckler. A variation of the Rogue. The archetype for a pirate isn't set that hard in stone, but in general, a pirate will use a combination of weaponry instead of specializing, usually being able to switch freely between pistols and swords. They also receive bonuses for fighting in water, terrain, or on ships, or be the best class at swimming. May have some aspects of the bandit, or the bandit class may be following the pirate entirely. When this class represents a pirate captain, it sometimes overlaps with Warlord. Well, we know Sorbet Shark Cookie is no captain. We definitely know that. He's just a normal pirate shark, okay? Or is he? I don't know. Doesn't get any bonuses for fighting in water, but he is water type, so that counts at least. Okay, so Parfait Cookie is based on what else? Parfait, a type of ice cream that combines rich ice cream flavor with layers of ingredients like cake, fruit, or cookies. Hey, I see what y'all did there. Unlike traditional sundaes, parfaits are layered in tall glasses. Well, parfait cookies not layered in a tall glass. French parfaits differ. They are frozen custards made with whipped cream and egg yolks rather than churned bases. Oh yeah, and they can also have a combination of any kind of fruit in it. So Parfait Cookie over here has like a combination of all of that in her hair. Oh, and what is her character archetype, you might be wondering? Well, she's based on a struggling independent artist, or bedroom pop idol. And yeah, she's her own singer, and she's a singer. Pop singer, if you want to go that direction. So she is a pop star, like, you know, Shining Glitter Cookie we just talked about like a video ago. Anyways, we also have another thing that she's based on. What type of RPG class is she based on? I'm gonna keep saying, a modern version of a bard. That is what she's based on. If you really want it, she uses the music, she heals people, she's got the social skills. Yeah, that is what she is. It's that, okay? That is what she uses. Alright, and I like Parfait Cookie. She has to be one of my favorite designs in the entire game. If not the entire, yeah, or the entire franchise at this point. Yeah, definitely one of my favorites of the entire franchise. And yeah, she has no element, but that doesn't matter. She does heal and buff your allies, so yeah, she is still useful. Glad that she's still useful out there all this time. Raspberry cookie, raspberry cookie, raspberry cookie. Well, Raspberry Cookie is named after raspberry. Even the thing on the back of her hair looks like is a raspberry. Yes, and she is a berry character of the berry family. Yeah, you have Hollyberry Cookie, who is a hollyberry, Wildberry, who is a wildberry, and then you have her, who is a raspberry. Makes a lot of sense in the context. Okay, I think you might be wondering, why is Raspberry Cookie what is Raspberry Cookie based on? The fighter class she's based. A duelist. She's based on a someone that fights with a sword. Somebody, a fighter who leans towards light armor or no armor at all, and prefers agility, cunning, and daring technical skill to sheer force. Tends to be a rogue in their tappings, usually more flamboyant than subtle, or they're full-on women right here, which is Raspberry Cookie, and is often used to evoke the rogue archetypes in game, where skills and stealth play a small or no role. A likely default class for the hero, especially in JRPGs and adventure novels after Alex Dumas. And yeah, that's basically what Raspberry Cookie is. And she's the dude. Kind of like Fiora from League of Legends. Yeah, another fellow duelist in a fantasy game. But that's not the only League of Legends comparison we got in this segment. The cookie is heavily based on the South Korean holiday of Chuseok, an annual lunar festival, harvest festival celebrated on the 15 days of the 8th month of the lunar calendar of the full moon. Her soft, globular fur and her affinity for rice cakes are both inspired by Songpyeon, a type of rice cake attributed to and traditionally enjoyed during Chuseok. Notably, Moon Rabbit Cookie was also released a few days before Chuseok was set to occur in 2021, with the release date being September 16th in Korea and Chuseok taking place September 21st or so. Moon Rabbit Cookie's matching decor theming, Abundant Harvest Festival, is directly based on Chuseok, and other festival holidays includes numerous items inspired by other foods eat festivals, such as colorful auction tea set being Ochuk Dang and the Sikai well being Sikai. Moon Rabbit Cookie also takes inspiration from the legend of the Moon Rabbit, a mythical figure common to multiple different cultures in East Asia that many cite as the initial inspiration for Chuseok. And also, Moon Rabbit trope, it's a moon-shaped thing on the moon. Makes a lot of sense. In Korea, the Moon Rabbit is referred to as a Dalkatoki. A Dalatoki. which is written the same way as Moon Rabbit Cookie's name, and lives on the moon, using a mortar and pestle or similar implement to make soft treats like rice cakes. Moon Rabbit Cookie's moon mortar picnic relates strongly to the legendary Moon Rabbit's own mortar, and a figure resembling Moon Rabbit Cookie's rabbit form with a mortar can be seen overlaying on the moon in the background of her gotcha animation. Overall, Moon Rabbit Cookie's carefree, joyful, and indulgent personality revolts the jubilant imprints of Chuseok and other festival-related stuff. Oh yeah, and she's based on a monster fighter. Obviously, she turns into a different animal when she's in her another form. Makes a lot of sense to me. Mala sauce cookie is based on mala sauce. Mala is a pungent, numbing, and spicy seasoning from Sichuan, China, made from Sichuan peppercorns and chili peppers simmered in oil. The word mala directly translates to numbing, ma, and spicy, la, referring to the unique sensation caused by the peppercorns. It is the signature flavor of Queen hot pot and dry pot dishes. And number two, well, what else? Mala sauce is using fire. She's a fire elemental because of that. And if you really want to get technical, if anyone wants to know what the name of her weapon is, it's called the Morning Star Anise. This is a play on words between a medieval morning star and a store anise seed. Despite its name, the Morning Star Anise much closely resembles a flail. And number two, what type of RPG class is Mala Sauce Cookie based on? Well, a Viking, aka a barbarian. The barbarian is a breed of fighter focused more on damage than defense. Know that in systems where barbarians have normal or greater than normal physical defense compared to other warriors such as Dungeons and Dragons, they will usually have no defense whatsoever against magic, being weak to magic, often characterized by wearing less armor, being less civilized, and being able to fly into berserk rage that increases damage output, allow them to do more damage based on how hurt they are. Mala Sauce Cookie doesn't do that. Doesn't increase damage how much more she's attacked, so no. Whoever does that is Candy Apple Cookie, and she's not even a fighter, she's a bomber. We'll get to her in like a few videos. But yeah, that is Mala Sauce. She's a fire elemental too. Yeah, a fire Viking, which is a pretty unique take on a character, I will admit. Honestly, I was expecting to be steel, but no, just fire, which is interesting. Twizzly Gummy Cookie is based on a Twizzler. Twizzlers are a classic low-fat licorice-type candy originally produced in 1929. While strawberry is the most popular variety of flavors, they do have more flavors such as watermelon, cherry, and various other ones. And it looks like Twizzly Gummy over here might be based on the blue raspberry flavor. Yeah, high chance she is. And she's arranged. Electric range. She's electric because her gun shoots plasma. And plasma lasers are electricity. And her RPG class is based on a skirmisher. Other names: Rebel, Soldier, Fallen Knight, Outlaw, and a Brigand. A cross between a fighter and a ranger due to a mix of martial capability and survival instincts. Usually differentiated from other fighters as being against the law or higher authority, particularly counterpart of the knight, who upholds and represents the law or higher authority. Twizzly Gummy Cookie is against the TBD. She stole stuff from the TBD, and she is on the run from them. She hates the TBD. That is until Croissant Cookie captures her and arrests her right there on the spot. Sometimes appear under-equipped or using improvised or stolen equipment. They usually have an expert sense of guerrilla warfare and survival tactics at their disposal to create a better equipped foes to balance the odds, compared to that of a warlord, but is not necessarily a leader. Well, Twizzly Gummy is a leader of a bunch of crazy other thieves on the run, but I don't know. You could just say, okay, she is a skirmisher, but a sci-fi version of one, which is pretty interesting. Honestly, really like this one. And she's my most powerful epic cookie, if you're wondering, if it wasn't obvious enough. Yeah, 777,000 power. Pretty a lot. Pumpkin pie cookie over here is named after pumpkin pie, a classic dessert featuring spiced pumpkin-based custard baked in a pastry crust. It is a quintessential autumn and early winter treat, deeply associated with the harvest time and holidays like Thanksgiving in North America. But she's named after, well, not modeled. She modeled after one. She's just modeled after a normal pumpkin. Or I guess she is modeled after pumpkin candy, I guess you could say, but I don't really know. I'm not even sure if that's even a thing, but I don't know. Also, she's based on a summoner. Yes, she's summoning Pom Pom. And kind of like Annie from League of Legends, and they're both the same thing. Okay, Annie has the fire element, while Pumpkin Pie Cookie has the darkness element, but they're still the same thing regardless. Like, come on, they're still the same freaking character. I mean, but just different versions of them, okay? But different elements. Yeah, but let's just get into detail what a summoner is. Or I guess she is a necromancer because she has power over the dead. Necromancer summoner. Yeah, that would make sense. So, And Pom Pom is based on a possessed doll. Yeah, so it makes sense. And Pom Pom is modeled after a rabbit, a pumpkin rabbit. That is literally what it is. Okay, so cotton cookie is based on cotton. Cotton is a soft, fluffy staple fiber that grows around the seeds of the cotton plant. Gossypium. It is a heavily versatile, breathable, and biodegradable nature material primarily spun into yarn or thread to make soft, comfortable, and durable textiles like clothing, and bedding. It makes a lot of sense. And that's why when you kill a sheep in Minecraft, or shave its wool off if you want to be less violent, you can make a craft bed with the wool. Okay, so Cotton Cookie's whole thing is that she is based on a girl with a lamp. Well, specifically, she's based on what else? What could she be based on? Oh boy, she is based on, drumroll please, Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale The Snow Queen. She is an analog to the protagonist Gerda, while Frost Queen Cookie is the titular queen and Sherbet Cookie is the spirited away Kai. Again, I have to repeat this again. In the story, the Snow Queen takes Kai away from Gerda after he ties his sled to the Snow Queen's sleigh, but Gerda goes on a long journey in order to get him back. On her journey, Gerda gets brainwashed by an older woman and only remembers her journey for Kai upon seeing a flower. She gets kidnapped by bandits, eventually gets to the palace of the Snow Queen with Kai on the verge of freezing to death. Gerda's warm tears melt the ice of his heart, and they both go back to the village, while Sherbet Cookie stays with Frost Queen. I guess Sherbet does visit Cotton Cookie time to time. So yeah, I don't know. It definitely is interesting. I mean, it definitely is a good spin on the tale. Her RPG class, not really sure. I guess the character with a lamp, but she does buff the attack, and she is a summoner. She does summon the sheep, and they do area damage, so I don't know. Not really much to say here. Okay, so Hot Cocoa Cookie over here is based on hot chocolate or hot cocoa, which is in her name. It's a heated beverage made from shaved or melted chocolate or cocoa powder combined with milk, water, and sweetener. It's a traditional garnish with whipped cream or marshmallows. And I put honey in my hot cocoa. Okay, I don't think I should have put that in there in the video, but whatever. And she's a defense because you know what she's doing. She is defending the team. Cocoa Cookie jumps into a giant cocoa mug and happily spins around for a given time, attacking the enemies. At the same time, Cocoa Cookie restores HP for all allies except for summoned creatures and makes them immune to stunning. While Cocoa Cookie is using her skill, she will briefly become resistant to interrupting effects. Cocoa Cookie's regular attack will heal 3 allies, targets Cookies first with the lowest HP. Makes sense. She's like a paladin, a healing defender. Makes sense. And she's a Christmas cook. She was released Christmas time because, well, look at her name. And also, she is the first non-healing cookie to heal allied cookies with her regular attacks instead of damaging enemies. Okay. And also, one thing, she's Mint Choco. She's Mint Choco's wife. Yeah, and the voice actors for these two characters are in a relationship real life. It says on the Wikia, so I'm getting all from the Wikia, getting most of this from the Wikia, so do not get on me. Also, I like Cocoa Cookie, she's cool. Very unique defense type, I will say.